detective asked Rachel one question before he showed her the footage. He said, "When the man walked away from your daughter, did you notice his hands?" Rachel thought about it. She closed her eyes. She replayed the moment. The dairy aisle, the orange juice label, the man crouching down to Lily's level. And she said, "No, I didn't look at his hands." The detective nodded slowly. He said, "That's okay. Most people don't." Then he turned the laptop around, and Rachel saw something she will never unsee for the rest of her life. But before we get there, I need to tell you what the man said to her. Because it wasn't just, "I thought she was alone." He said two things. The second one was, "You're doing a great job, Mom." And Rachel, a 37-year-old woman, exhausted, working 2 jobs, doing her absolute best, almost said thank you. It was a Wednesday, overcast. Nothing remarkable about the date, nothing remarkable about the town. A mid-sized suburb outside of Memphis, Tennessee, the kind of place where people leave their car doors unlocked and know their neighbors' dogs by name. Rachel was 37, 2 kids, a 9-year-old daughter named Lily and a 6-year-old son named Marcus. She'd picked them up from school that afternoon running 10 minutes late, still in her work clothes, her phone dying in her cup holder. Quick stop, in and out, 15 minutes, max. Bread, milk, mac and cheese, maybe a treat if they didn't fight in the cart. She parked in the middle of the lot, force of habit, not too close, not too far. She grabbed a cart. She let Lily hold the grocery list on her phone because Lily loved feeling responsible. She put Marcus in the cart seat. They walked through the automatic doors. Cold air, fluorescent hum. An employee smiled and said, "Welcome." Rachel didn't know it yet, but someone had already seen them. Someone had already made a decision, and that someone picked up a cart and followed them inside. When police pulled the security footage the next morning, they didn't find a monster. They found something far worse. They found a routine. The footage was time-stamped, and what it showed, second by second, was a man who had done this before. A man who was comfortable. A man who moved through that store the way a hunter moves through familiar terrain. Unhurried, deliberate, invisible. At 2:47 p.m., Rachel's family enters through the main doors. The man is already inside near the entrance display. He has no items in his cart. He turns and watches them walk past. At 2:48 p.m., Rachel heads toward the bread aisle. The man follows, but not directly. He takes a parallel route through seasonal items. He keeps them in his peripheral vision. His cart is empty. He picks up nothing. At 2:49 p.m., Rachel pauses at the bread section. The man stops at the end of the aisle. He does not enter. He waits. He appears to check his phone. He is not checking his phone. At 2:54 p.m., they move to the dairy section. He follows, same distance, same casual pace. By now, he has been tracking this family for 7 minutes. His cart is still empty. At 2:57 p.m., Rachel reaches for 2 cartons of orange juice to compare labels. Her eyes drop. Her attention narrows to 6 inches of cardboard. The man begins moving. He rounds the corner of the aisle with his cart. And here is the detail that made the lead investigator's face go still when he described it later. He doesn't just walk toward Lily. He positions the cart beside her, angled just slightly, just enough, creating what investigators would later describe in their report as a door. Not a cage, not a barrier, a door. One that, if Lily had taken 2 more steps to show him where the cereal was, would have swung shut behind her. Out of camera range, out of Rachel's line of sight, out of the sight line of every other shopper in that aisle. A door that opened toward an emergency exit 40 feet away. He had measured it. He crouched down to Lily's level. He smiled, and he spoke. He said, "Hey, sweetheart, do you know where they keep the cereal? I just cannot find it anywhere." Lily, 9 years old, polite, raised right, looked up at him. She pointed toward the back of the store. He tilted his head. Warm, patient, practiced. He said, "Could you show me real quick? It'll only take a second." And then, documented in the police report, confirmed by Rachel in her own words, he reached out and touched her hand. Just the fingertips, just a gentle touch. The kind that looks, to any passing stranger, like a grandfather saying hello. Rachel looked up, and here is what she described in every interview afterward. It was not a thought. It was not a calculation. It was not a decision. It was a physical sensation. She described it as a trapdoor opening in my chest. A drop, instant and total. Something was wrong. She dropped the orange juice. It hit the floor. She crossed the 2 feet between them in less than a second, and she grabbed Lily. Not gently, not carefully. She grabbed her daughter by the shoulder and pulled her back, hard, and she said loudly, clearly, for anyone nearby to hear, "She's with me." The man stood up. He looked at Rachel. He did not flinch. He did not stumble over an apology. He did not look embarrassed the way an innocent person looks embarrassed. He smiled, the same smile, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought she was alone. My mistake." He paused. Then, "You're doing a great job, Mom." And Rachel, sleep-deprived, stretched thin, doing her absolute best every single day, felt the reflex rise in her throat before she could stop it. The conditioned, automatic, exhausted parent response to any scrap of acknowledgement. "Thank you." She didn't say it. Something stopped her. She held Lily tighter. She looked at his hands. She saw nothing, but she looked. He turned the cart around, unhurried, calm, and walked away toward the back of the store. Rachel stood in the dairy aisle for 30 seconds, shaking, while Marcus ate crackers from a box he'd grabbed off the shelf, and Lily looked up at her and said, "Mom, you okay?" She almost left. She almost talked herself out of it. She almost decided she'd overreacted, that she was a paranoid, hysterical mother who had just embarrassed herself over a man who couldn't find the Cheerios. She walked to the customer service desk instead. She asked for a manager. She said, "I need you to call the police." That decision, that one decision, changed everything. When officers arrived and reviewed the footage, everything I just described to you, the shift supervisor said she had to leave the room, because what the cameras showed was not a confused man looking for cereal. It was a predator running a technique, patiently, confidently, in a packed store on a Wednesday afternoon, while 30 other shoppers moved through that same aisle and saw nothing. Investigators pulled the parking lot footage next. He had arrived before Rachel's family. He had been watching the entrance. When Rachel pulled in, a woman, alone, 2 small children, hands full. He picked up a cart and waited. Within 48 hours, they had him. License plate, neighboring county, prior record. He was charged with attempted child enticement. And when they searched his car, parked in that same Walmart lot, 3 spaces from Rachel's minivan, they found, in the back seat, zip ties, a cloth, a chemical compound consistent with a fast-acting sedative. He did not drive to Walmart to buy groceries. He drove to Walmart to take a child, and he almost did it in the time it takes to read a juice label. This is the part of the video I need you to sit with, because law enforcement will tell you, child safety researchers will tell you, what happened to Rachel's family is not a freak incident. It is not a rare anomaly that happened once in a suburb outside Memphis. It is a documented pattern. Big box retail stores, Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, are disproportionately represented in child enticement attempt reports. The reasons are structural. They are loud. They are chaotic. They have multiple exits. They have parking lots that are half empty and half full at any given time, creating cover. They have wide aisles where a cart can become a door. They have distracted parents doing the mental math of 20 things at once. Predators study this. Research on predatory behavior around child abduction attempts shows that targets are selected within 60 seconds of observation. The criteria are consistent across cases. Primary caregiver is alone, multiple children are present, caregiver's attention is divided. The script is also consistent. Asking a child for help, directions, finding an item is specifically chosen because it is non-threatening, because it activates the politeness conditioning we work hard to instill in our kids, and because it gives the predator a reason to walk away from the parent rather than toward them. Your child's good manners are, in this specific context, a vulnerability. And the compliment, "You're doing a great job, Mom," that is not improvisation. That is a calculated tool. Creates momentary goodwill. It softens the parent. It manufactures a fraction of a second of hesitation. A fraction of a second is enough. Rachel's instincts fired before that hesitation could take hold. But she also said something in an interview that I have not been able to stop thinking about. I was so close to just letting it go. I was so tired. I just wanted to get home. How many parents have let it go? How many times has that cart become a door and nobody called the police? Here is what you do with this information tonight. Not tomorrow. Tonight. 1. Establish a code word. A word only your family knows. Tell your kids. If any adult approaches you and doesn't know this word, it doesn't matter who they say they are. It doesn't matter how nice they seem. You come to me immediately. 2. Retire the phrase, be polite. Replace it with be safe. Polite children comply. Safe children assess. Teach your child that adults do not ask children for help. Adults ask other adults. If a grown-up is asking a child for directions, for help finding something, for anything, that grown-up has already crossed a line. 3. If a parking lot feels wrong, get back in the car. You can order groceries from your phone. You cannot order a new child. Trust the trapdoor in your chest. 4. Report. Every time. Even if you're unsure. Even if nothing technically happened. Rachel's report created a record that connected to other reports in neighboring counties. A pattern investigators had not yet been able to map. Your report is not an overreaction. Your report is data. Your report might be the one that stops it. Tonight, before your kids go to bed, have this conversation. Not to scare them, to arm them. Say it exactly like this. If anyone, any adult, anyone, tries to take your hand and lead you somewhere without mommy or daddy, here is what you do. You scream. You run. You do not explain yourself. You don't say stop. You don't say let go. You scream as loud as you can and you run toward the most people you can see. You don't owe anyone an apology for making a scene. And then tell them this. I will never be embarrassed by you being loud. I will never be embarrassed by you running to me. I will never be angry that you caused a scene. 'Cause every scene, every single time, Lily is okay. She went home that Wednesday and had mac and cheese and watched cartoons and didn't fully understand what had almost happened in the space between her mother's hands and a juice label. Rachel still shops at Walmart. She just doesn't read labels anymore. She puts things in the cart and she compares them at home and she keeps one hand always on her daughter. The man is in custody, but there are others, and they are patient, and they are practiced, and they count on you being tired. Don't give them tired. Give them loud. Be the family that makes a scene. Be the loud family. If this video made you stop and think, share it, specifically with the parents in your life who have kids between 5 and 12. Not to terrify them, to prepare them. Hit subscribe if you want true crime content that is actually designed to protect you. And drop a comment below. Have you ever felt that trapdoor moment in your chest? That instinct that something was wrong before your brain caught up? Tell me. I read every single one. Stay aware, stay close, and tonight be the loud family.